So that being the case, what we are looking at is the United States government and several state governments attempting to impose an official state religion.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's good to see you today on the speaknsee show. Like, subscribe, click that notification button so when I get information out, you can get information in. We need Judge Joe Brown in office. The media is against him. I can see that. We can all see that the mainstream media is paid for politics. These politicians got the media in their pockets. So they do not want this man, Judge Joe Brown, one of the smartest, wisest men in America, is going to be running for mayor of Memphis. That's a start. I mean, if he doesn't take Memphis, come to Florida. We will make sure that you have a place because we need more people like you. Go onto his website, jjb2023.com. So now it's time. Grab yourself a drink, pull yourself up a chair, and let's dive into this. Judge Joe Brown. Like and subscribe.
What's the God for Buddhism? There is none. Buddha was a historical entity that renounced his monarchical status. Mm-hmm. So they don't have a God, but it's a system of philosophy.
Frame of mind, yeah.
LBTQIA plus is a system of philosophy, a secular religion, and a lot of people are floundering because they have no purpose, no cause, and this offers them a substitute, which is you have no obligations, you have no duties, just please yourself, which is like the preacher saying, it doesn't make any difference if you kill, rob, murder, steal, you'll get to heaven if you just believe.
Right.
Which is frequent in a lot of churches these days. So that being the case, what we are looking at is the United States government and several state governments attempting to impose an official state religion.
Yeah.
The ultimate check is the citizenry. If you keep the citizens armed, then the government can't be repressive. The governor did an ass backwards stupid stunt about her going to suspend the First and Second Amendment. Citizens of Mexico, New Mexico said, and everybody shows up in Albuquerque. Ain't nobody going down to disarm this many armed citizens. That's power to the people. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't do something shady, like try to get them all indicted based on video recordations. But then that's the habeas. But then if we listen to her talk about insurrection, somebody will forget that. So we have to watch it.
They're desensitizing people to the Constitution.
Yeah. And then here's the thing about being free is not safe. But being free is so important that we'll take the collateral damage that goes along with being able to remain free. Driving. Everybody likes automotive transportation. We depend on it. 75 miles an hour, 65, 55 on a freeway, driving a 2-ton vehicle is dangerous. People get killed, mutilated, jacked up. But we are willing to accept the collateral damage that goes along with it because what it is associated with is deemed to be of great value.
Sure.
Well, being free is so important that the occasional idiot who goes off, violates the law with the drugs in him that came in illegally, that also had the crates of guns coming in with the kilos of drugs that the war on drugs can't stop. We want to give up our ability to oppose the criminals who are disobeying the law in the first place, who, if they shot you, are going to get a really heavy murder case, life without parole, or executed. They're willing to take that. Do you think that you making it unlawful to possess the weapon is going to stop them?
Right.
But it stops good citizens, so they're disarmed. That's like somebody saying, oh, the United States ought to leave the world in peace. We should all unilaterally disarm. And China and North Korea,
Mm.
And Al Qaeda and ISIS and all of these guys that are bad out in the world, they'll follow our lead and there will be peace. Doesn't work that way.
Mm. Mm. That's a dangerous road.
See, in other words, when people get so concerned with their safety, they're willing to give up their freedom. They can be safe.
Mm.
But do you want that kind of oppression?
Right.
The National Socialist Workers Party was really good about ensuring public peace.
Mm.
The acronym for National Socialist Workers Party, we all know, it's spelled NAZI, Nazi.
Mm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm a historian, and I every now and then go back and read some of the Reichstag speeches and the beer hall prognostications, and damned if they don't sound very much like what you're hearing today.
Wow.
January 6th is the burning of the Reichstag in 1932.
Mm.
What they said, and because of that, they had to impose these draconian laws. And I said, yeah, that's what I'm listening to right now. And forget the first, second, third, Fourth Amendment and due process and all of that.
Right.
We want to be safe. And the children think, well, children are children. Children have rights, not parents. We're hearing that because somebody wants to groom the children.
Mm.
Well, on that one, our U.S. Supreme Court has long said that children do not have the same rights as adults. Their preeminent right is to appropriate care and direction.
Right.
Remember, they can't sign contracts. They can't give consent to a whole lot of stuff. So
Isn't
exercising rights means you have the adult status when it comes to being informed and consenting to something which they say a child cannot do because of their lack of maturity.
right?
So people want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
So they're saying you say a child can't do it, but I know California just put out a law.
I know that.
What's up with
Isn't
that?
That's because you've got some of the same well-intentioned idiots that led to Germany adopting these draconian laws that the National Socialist Workers Party, aka Nazis, took advantage of.
Right on.
See,
Right
that's the hazard. When somebody gets so in love with being safe that they're not willing to accept the risks that come from being safe and free,
True.
you got a problem.
Mm.
Now, I don't think that's going to stay long in California because they have a ballot initiative. Get 2,500 signatures local or 25,000 for the whole state, and the thing gets put on the next ballot. I don't think that will survive
Right.
that, but it's just an exercise in stupidity.
Yeah.
I live in Memphis, but I grew up in Los Angeles, kindergarten through law school. And for that show I had 15 years, I was back and forth.
Loved it.
Thank you.
Loved it.
But LA is San Francisco, San Diego, Orange County, San Joaquin Valley, Sacramento. They are a little bit nuts.
Yeah,
they've lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Sean, what do you think about this? It's just horrible what they're doing, imposing all of this on these children. They need to be able to express themselves. I agree, Edward. Chucky, what do you think? Like, really?
Throw the parents out throw the parents out the window. It's a weird state now, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not going to wash because we have come from cave to condominium. And they want to bail on what got us from there to here because in the last 10 years or so, 15, 20, a group of people have been encouraged to hate themselves.
Yeah.
and they spread hate.
Yeah.
You have to think of what's going on in a way outside the box. I discovered that a lot of gay folk do not like LGBTQIA plus, etc., because they look at it as a cult,
Mhm.
and it is a consortium of individuals that represent some things that hurt a lot of them badly.
Yeah. Yeah.
As one of them said, just because you're a Christian does not mean you supported Reverend Jim Jones drinking Kool-Aid at Guyana picnics.
That's good.
Nor, if you're Islamic, does that mean you support Al Qaeda or ISIS.
Right. Right.
To get an idea of what's going on, think about this. These are religions we all know and love: Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, etc. Now, what's the God for Buddhism? There is none. Buddha was a historical entity that renounced his monarchical status.
Mhm.
So they don't have a God, but it's a system of philosophy.
Frame of mind. Yeah.
LGBTQIA plus is a system of philosophy,
Mhm.
a secular religion, and a lot of people
Yeah.
are floundering because they have no purpose, no cause, and this offers them a substitute, which is you have no obligations, you have no duties, just please yourself, which is like the preacher saying, it doesn't make any difference if you kill, rob, murder, steal, you'll
Right.
get to heaven if you just believe,
Right.
which is frequent in a lot of churches these days. So, that being the case, what we are looking at is the United States government and several state governments attempting to impose an official state religion.
Yes.
You can't put the cross under an American flag on a federal building.
Mhm.
Can't put the crescent, the Jewish
Right.
six-pointed star. You can't use the Hindu multi-armed god. You can't use a representation of Buddha,
Right.
but you can put the rainbow.
Mm.
You
Mm.
see,
Yeah.
can't have a nativity scene in a courthouse or city hall,
Mhm.
but you've got government employees hanging the rainbow from the 11th floor of a federal building in D.C. and painting the sidewalks the color of the religion.
Yeah. That offends a lot of people, and that's not. Yeah. Is that constitutional for them to do that?
Don't we have separation of church and state?
Right.
Like I said, you can't put a nativity scene in. Why
Mm.
can you put a rainbow scene in? Other thing, Monday commemorated the 22nd anniversary of 911. They managed to get flight training for a number of people who would act as pilots, a big, unified, well coordinated plan. They hijacked 4 aircraft, and I take it personal because I knew quite well the flight attendants on one of the aircraft that went down. So they went through a lot of changes, but they don't have to now because there's no southern border security. You can walk across with a suitcase nuke supplied by North Korea
Mm. Yeah.
or Iran, maybe,
Yeah.
and nobody's checking you. And there are 2,400 unaccounted for Stinger missiles off of that thing back in the 80s with the Afghanistani freedom fighters.
Hmm.
And by the way, bin Laden was the exchange between the money and the missiles.
Really?
Yeah, he was also the exchange in 1980 on Pakistan getting the engineering plans for the nukes to
Wow.
offset India in the region.
Mm.
So, what seems to have happened is that we did one of our usual stunts. We tried to murder one of our allies, got him pissed off, and we got 911 as a result.
Mm.
But they don't have to do that again. They can walk across the border with the suitcase nuke or a dirty bomb that would be radioactive, even if it didn't have the nuclear explosive
Right.
rating.
Mm.
And what are we doing to ourselves? Because you know where I think this is going to come from the next time is people are pissed off about us trying to impose this new secular religion on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And have you, I have some former Russian in-laws.
Mm.
My son was in the Navy and his wife was a translator. She was in the Navy. She'd been naturalized but born in Russia. And if we got a chance to see what the Russians are putting out, they're saving the rest of the world from the imposition of this new religion or this new philosophy, LGBTQIA plus, that destroys families.
Right.
We are supporting sexual slavery over there, which we are.
Wow.
And because Stalin said he'd take care of it, but never did, the Ukraine, which was the largest source of Nazis who were rounding up Jews and gypsies and etc. to send to extermination camps, they never got punished. And a lot of those people you see appearing in the White House or here in the country, if you looked at pictures of them 8, 9 years ago, when they've got the wife beaters on, they've got all the Nazi swastikas tattooed on.
Mm-hmm.
So the Russians are claiming that they're saving the world from resurgent Nazism.
Right.
See, but we never hear that. And as I pointed out before, there's a good argument to say our main purpose for being in Ukraine is so our president can bribe his way out of a long RICO indictment.
Right.
Which
looks
bad.
Yeah, that looks
It's like
really
weapons of mass destruction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what weapons of mass destruction?
Memphis, if you guys can hear me out there, you got the golden goose. Congratulations. Get them in there. I want to thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. Get ready for episode 3. It goes even deeper. Things you're not going to believe are happening right now, or actually have happened in the most recent past, that have been hidden from us. These are Pandora's box has been opened, and Judge Joe Brown has information that America needs to know. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. We love you all. Have a blessed day.